Hello, it's Charles Fockaert, October 23rd, 2018. I welcome all of you. Thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you very much for the comments. There's quite a few there. Michael Ryan, and I don't want to forget anybody's name, but there's quite a few. Billy, Joe Bob, and I don't mean to miss anybody, but I really appreciate your comments. I appreciate your thumbs up. This isn't going to be this isn't a pie die pie or pie do pie or whatever the guy's name was with the 51 million subscribers. It's going to be, it's always going to be a low viewers channel because we talk about things on this channel that most people don't want to hear about. And, but we're going to talk about Trump this morning. You know, with all this talk about the deep state and how Trump's going to drain the swamp and all these sealed indictments and the deep state and how he's just getting everything ready. He's making his moves on the chessboard and he's getting the court system all prepared, and the Supreme Court with Brett Kavanaugh, and he's just getting everything all ready, folks. So we just got to be patient with him. He's going to do what he said he was going to do, and I had a couple of people tell me things are getting better, and I don't argue with them because I might be wrong, they might be right, and I hope they are right. I hope I am wrong, but I'm on the record as saying that I believe Trump's going to be worse than Obama. And just in a different way, folks, in a different way. He's also getting things all set up for the new, maybe the new group of the deep state. And he's getting it ready in different areas than what we're used to. And I'm going to give you an example. It's been almost 2 years now since Trump was elected, and he talked about the wall, build the wall. And Mexico, remember, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Build the wall, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Well, how's that working out? I'm on the record as saying that we don't need a wall, a physical barrier between the two countries, Mexico and the United States. And I go into detail all the reasons why we don't need, and it's the #1 viewed video of mine on BitChute. We don't need no stinking wall. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details here. If you want to get my opinion and my view, you'll have to watch that video. But now we got several thousand Central Americans headed our way, and Trump is saying that now he's gonna hold them back. He's gonna stop those people. But I just read here in the local newspaper the other day. I'm in Arizona now, and we have the border with Mexico. A bunch of illegal immigrants hopped over the wall. They were taken into custody. They were, quote, processed, whatever that means, and then they were set free until the court hearing. And I said, what the hell? Do you actually think these illegal aliens are going to show up for a court hearing? So the point is, the illegal aliens are still coming in, and the big horde that is miles long headed this way is just one aspect of it. And Trump is saying he's going to put the military on the border. Well, why didn't he do that 2 years ago now, folks? I'm going to jump in here with an insert. My view back 2 years ago, or before Trump was even elected, I said if I was the president, and I was talking to the guy here who works at the museum I went in yesterday, older guy like me, and I started talking about it, and boy, did he agree with me. And I put an order out Get the military on the border. Put an order out. Yeah, 1 or 2 people might get killed before the message gets out there that if you come over the border of the United States, you're probably going to get shot. That'll give our snipers. And you say, well, that's pretty cruel. What happens if they shoot children? Well, guess what? These illegal aliens are coming over and they're getting drunk and they're running into people in the United States, the Caucasians in the United States, and they're getting killed. And then these people get to go free. And they're committing crimes and rapes and murders and you name it. They're bringing over polio, I understand now, and who knows what else. And it's okay if the Caucasian race gets killed, but it's not okay if the illegal invaders, which are all non-whites, folks, they get killed. So we don't need a border wall. What we need is I almost guarantee you illegal immigration would drop to 0. But hey, what do I know, right? And so that brings me to number 2, the war. Remember the war in Afghanistan? We were going to, 17 years now, is it? We were going to bring the troops back to the United States. Well, we still are in a war in Iraq. We still have American troops in Iraq. And we don't hear about Iraq anymore. Remember, Iraqi oil was going to pay for the war? That didn't happen either, did it? Mexico was going to pay. You know who's paying for all this? Mexico was going to pay for the wall. Guess who's paying for all this? We are. We are. So the war is still going on. The wall has not been built. And now let's move on to the budget. Speaking of who's paying for all this, we have a budget. We're what, $21 trillion in debt, and the debt went up just as high under Trump as it did under Obama. So we are a third world country when it comes to the debt. The debt is never going to be repaid unless they hyperinflate the currency, which is what I think they're going to do. Or perhaps they're just going to say we can't pay it. So, and they're going to come up with some brand new currency, which is what they usually do. Trump's talking about a 5% budget cut in all the departments except defense, I believe. So the defense budget is $700, close to $800 billion a year. And we're going to cut everywhere else but the military. And we're not going to bring the troops home. In fact, we're increasing our military presence in different parts of the world. So, in my opinion, Trump gets an F on the wall. He gets a F on the war, bringing the troops back. And I get sick and tired about it. There's up on the hill here, there's support our troops. And I don't want to go too far into that, but why in the hell should we support our troops when they're over in Iraq and they should be here on the border between Mexico and the United States? Then we got the budget. I give him an F on that because he hasn't cut the budget at all. He's been in for 2 years. Okay, then we got 9/11. This kind of precedes all the rest of this. Trump, if I know and you know that 9/11 was not pulled off by 19 Arabs with box cutters, then President Trump knows that. In fact, there's a video out there where he's been recorded as saying he wasn't sure. How did those buildings all fall down? You know, Trump's not stupid. And so maybe that's why he hasn't said anything about 9/11. Why doesn't he just come out and say, hey, I've had access to the records and I can categorically tell you, the American public and the world, that 9/11 was not pulled off by 19 Arabs with box cutters. And then he could come out and actually tell us who pulled off 9/11. And I can't go too far into that. See, we have to self-censor ourselves now because of the fear of the triple echoes. Let's move on. Let's move on to the deep state. And I'm making this video because I've been hearing all this stuff about what Trump's doing, and I go, you know what? I've said that Trump's going to be worse than Obama. And maybe I was wrong. Wow, look at this. There's he's getting it all ready to indict, and I hear the word military tribunals, etc., etc. And Trump is just getting everything all ready. And any day now, once the chessboard is all set the way he wants it, he's going to play the end game here, and he's going to have a checkmate. And a lot of these people are going to go to prison. So maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I need to say, I need to admit, hey, I was wrong. But that's yet to happen. So that video where I admit that I was wrong will have to wait till later. But I'm not wrong because he hasn't done anything about the wall. He hasn't done anything about the war in Iraq. He's trying to pick a war now he's have a trade war. Forgot that. It's not on my outline here. There's a trade war going on now with China. And who's paying for the trade war? My mechanic buddy told me that Trump's trying to take care of the imbalance, that the advantage that China has over the United States when it comes to trade. And I said, well, how's he doing? He's putting on the tariffs. And I said, well, what is a tariff? And my buddy's not stupid. He's an example of somebody who's smart in one field, mechanics, but he's stupid in every other thing, many other things. I said, so what is a tariff? And he said, without hesitation, it's a tax. Okay, well, who's going to pay the tax? And he didn't hesitate very long. He said, well, we are. So I said, well, how is that a benefit? How is Trump doing something good for us, the American people, making America great again, if we got to pay more for just about everything that we buy? I bought a couple things here. I bought a new gasket for my master cylinder. Guess where it was made? Made in China. I bought parts for my car, made in Mexico. I bought this, I bought that. Everything you buy anymore is made outside this country, much of it from China. So if there's tariffs, I mean, I don't want to go too far in this because you people probably get this. We're going to pay more for everything that we buy because of these tariffs and this trade war. And then we also got the ethanol. Trump's pushing for 15% ethanol now. And ethanol is very inefficient. It costs more energy to produce the ethanol than you get out of the savings in the fuel. And so the Republican farmers in Iowa and wherever else they grow the corn, Nebraska and all the other places, they're happy as can be because they're getting paid, or they're getting money that they wouldn't get otherwise, probably higher prices for their corn, and it's probably GMO corn. And so they're happy. He's buying votes, and he's giving them what they want. That's what they want to hear, 15% ethanol. And there's not too many older vehicles on the road like my 350 Chevy. Well, ethanol's it doesn't go very well in these old compression engines. Maybe they work okay in these EFI, computerized engines, smaller engines, but they don't work very well. So I'm going to get hammered because ethanol's not good for this vehicle. And then we got 5G. Trump is pushing 5G everywhere, and that's going to, those high frequency micro electromagnetic waves are going to be everywhere, and that's the Internet of all things, or what I forget how the Internet of things, or so they're going to have control of surveillance through our phones, our computers, everything. But biometrics, that's total control coming, and Trump is pushing for 5G so that we can have, so that the millenniums can have faster YouTube downloads, or their Netflix. So these young people that don't have a friggin' clue are going to embrace 5G, and they have no idea what's going on because they don't care as long as they get they can play their games and get their videos. So, I don't think Trump's going to be, I can, with all these, and there's probably some I'm missing, Trump is not, overall, is not going to be good for the United States. And as of this moment, October 2018, I'm going to stick with my estimation, my view, my projection that Trump is going to be worse in the long run for the people, the white Caucasian race of the United States, than Obama was, and Obama was bad enough. Wouldn't you agree? And I'm going to end this with, I think Trump was put in there because he knows how to go through a bankruptcy. He's probably the king of being bankrupt. He's a bankruptcy king in the millions and millions of dollars. And somehow he came out of all those banks. See, he was into casinos, folks. Casinos is all cash. All cash. So he knew how to play the game. He knew how to play the system. We don't see his tax returns. How come we don't see his tax returns? And who else was it? That Jared Kushner. He played the IRS code so that he hardly paid any taxes. These people are making millions and millions of dollars into the B's, in the billions. And you and I have to work and struggle and put in our time and effort, and we have to pay our taxes, or we get chased and run down like a mountain lion, or a lion will chase down his prey because they pick us off one by one when we don't do what they want us to do, which is hand over our hard-earned money. And yet they're getting away with millions. And another thing, George Soros is behind a lot of what's going on with this illegal immigration. Back to the bankruptcy. The United States is bankrupt, and Trump was put in there in part, I believe, to put us all in a corral and herd us the way that he wants us. All his conservative, Republican, and those who believe that what he's doing, make America great again. And I still think the United States, the white race of the United States, is being snookered by Trump. And I do hope I'm wrong. I do hope he does half of what he says he's going to do. But as they say, I'm not holding my breath. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. And may the grace of God, our Father Yahweh, the Creator. And by the way, I just thought of the budget for NASA, $20 billion a year to produce the videos and all the graphics that keep everybody snookered. We could eliminate that entire budget, folks. But may the grace of God, our Father Yahweh, the God of the Caucasian race, may His grace be upon us all. for we most certainly need it. See ya.